intents and purposes, we're all trying to get to a certain position.
That's another stereotype of Greeks in general. That we're all stuck up.
Yeah.
Unapproachable.
Yeah, that is a stereotype of Greeks because I mean, I don't know if that's a terrible stereotype. Like we work hard, and I think that's something that we've kind of started too because we worked hard to get into Greek.
Absolutely.
Like people forget that how, regardless of what age it is, regardless of how people, because we can talk about all day about how people talk about the different eras of Greek, being in the 80s, being in the 90s, the 2000s, and being now, and how they've all had different circumstances to deal with. As far as pledging and hazing, and although none of us are supposed to be hazing or whatever, like people, their processes were different, and some people deem other people's processes harder or weaker, and that makes you less of a person. That's an internal Greek thing that all of us go through. Like all the Greeks go through that. Like you may be spring 12, but you ain't pledged harder than fall 10, fall 09, or fall 07, or whatever.
You know what's funny? When I always hear old heads, man, they never compare. Like they don't.
I mean, they in their 40s and 30s, so they don't have.
As you get older, like a while, Greek told me that I was going to set the school like as a I don't know, he worked in the wizard's office, but he was just like, when you get older, man, like the young stuff gets out of the way, like all the the pettiness and stuff, like you get out of all the stuff you got to do. It's like when you get older, you got family and kids.
Yeah, that shit don't matter, yo. Who plays harder than who cares? Like that shit don't matter.
And you go to a job interview, and it's like, oh, you alpha? It's like, Sigma, I was like, oh, that's what's up. It's still like a clique thing. Just because y'all everybody had that same commitment, and they know they all pledge for a reason that's bigger than themselves. So everybody gets that term. So like when you get older, like all the pettiness stuff is out the window, and everybody gets it.
So if there was one thing, I guess, to close out this topic, so we can move on to something else. If there was one thing that each of y'all could say about trying to attempt to kind of get rid of that stereotype, to let people know that Sigmas are not a particular thing, what would that be?
I mean, personally, like we said earlier, like we just do us, and I think it's still gonna be there, because one of the stereotypes that I've heard is that we like to be everybody else, But
like copy everything from everybody else.
It's not even that we copy. We just we have a diverse group of men in the organization, and certain people have a certain personality that it looks like they should have went Q, but they fit more with Sigma, and that's one of the biggest thing. I'm not going to tell you, all right, well, you have to join my organization. I'm going to be like, well, where do you fit? Like that's one of the biggest things I think.
Which one speaks to you the most?
Yeah, and I think that's what Greek life should be.
Yeah, and we encourage, even in the interest meeting. I don't know about everyone else, but we always say, do your research. And go to other people's interest meeting. I don't know if everyone does that,
And there's a misconception, like when they go to other interest meetings, like it's not because they're interested. It's just because they want to see
information.
They want to see if it's for them.
You gotta get enough information. You can't just go out on a whim and do this, because we in this shit for life, man.
Yeah, because you only want people that wants to be here.
And one thing I will say with the IFC and the Pan-Hellenic, and I know, like, I've talked to people where they've gotten into the organization, and now that they're stuck in there, they're no longer active, because they went ahead, did that organization, and now they hate it, so they just walk away from it. And that's why you hear a lot of them like, yeah, I was a so-and-so.
Yeah, that don't happen often. Now it happens.
Oh, I'm talking about the IFC.
No. It happens with us too. We have people. I know. I can think of one guy in particular who has denounced his letters, and I don't know. Like it's so funny how Greek Shenanigans. It seems as though something different pops up on their page all the time, but when you follow them after a while and you're in this Greek life, it's the same shit every year. Every year around AGP, what happens? Perps. Every single year, it's the same thing. So along that line, it's like, okay, there every so often, there's really no timetable for it, but every so often you have a guy in one of these fraternities, or even a girl in one of these sororities. Well, they'll denounce their letters. So much so that they'll put this information that we hold dear to us out on social media. It happens every year, every single year.
And every org,
every org, bro. Like I think the last org that it happened to was the Alphas.
Yeah.
But it's happened to all of us. Like it's happened to all of us. Yeah, it's happened to all of us.
I would say definitely, like, you gotta definitely, this whole stereotyping has to stop, because someone goes into an organization or a chapter expecting a certain stereotype, and that chapter is nothing like that stereotype, because chapters are different.
Chapters are different, yeah.
Completely different. So, I mean, as far as stereotypes, it's just something that, I mean, I don't think it's something that we can do personally. I mean, I consider you to be me, and that's one thing that I would do.
And I heard the most ignorant comment of the day. I was chilling at my friend's house, and
GDI?
Yeah.
GDI is
I hate that term.
You do?
Because my coach
goddamn individual.
Yeah, I hate that because it's belittling again.
It is.
So I say not. So
shout out to Dennis trying to be a little bit better out here.
So but anyways, like I was chilling. I was wearing like I have my wristband, but that's about it. So I was chilling, and dude come on, was like, "Yo, man, I just went to HBCU." He's like, "I want to pledge down there. There's so much history and stuff like that."
Is your homeboy?
Oh no, I didn't know I'm worth the lick of 2 cents, man.
Oh, okay.
So lick of 2 cents.
Get your man.
Country.
Get your man.
So the dude said, "Oh, there's so much history," and I was like, "You get that same history. What you mean to say is that it's that environment that you want, and because I can't front. There's nothing like an HBCU environment where it feels like you're at home. It feels like you are at home.
Like you belong.
You don't get weird.
And we
stares.
would know because we don't come from an HBCU.
Yeah, and we don't get weird stares. We don't get like.
You see a lot more of us.
Yeah, us. So it's like people know, like you're known to be like it's just the environment that was created. Like it is what it is.
So with that, doesn't that, I don't know, I feel like because of that kind of, on the flip side, I guess to play devil's advocate, wouldn't that make Greek watered down at HBCU? Because everyone's Greek. Literally. Everyone. Because we, at smaller schools, like you notice, they'll probably have, as far as a probate or a showcase when they reveal the new members of the organization, it'll probably be like 2, 3,
2 to
5, 7 if you're lucky.
7 if
you know what I'm saying? I think Pi Alpha at Georgia State, the Georgia State Sigmas, they had 14, which is like
but they damn near
huge.
They damn near HBCU.
Right.
I think it waters down, but it all depends. Like I can't speak because it's one thing to see it every now and then, but for the people that's there every day.
I think you have a point though. It probably would be watered down.
It's like a dude that's living in New York, you know what I'm saying, for all their whole life, or living in Georgia their whole life, and then someone new comes that's never been here, and it's like, oh shit, like this is amazing.
Right.
But we've been here all the time.
Like they say you never visit the attractions in your state.
Yeah, that's that too.
Perfect example. Morehouse Sigmas just had a pageant, and they had it at I forgot the name of the building.
Martin Luther King.
Chapel.
One time, okay.
And it's like you walk down that hallway and see all those pictures.
Yeah.
Successful people, and it's nothing. Like I've been to that campus multiple times. There's nothing like walking down and seeing all those pictures.
Yeah.
So on that aspect, I get that. Whatever. But it is Greek life is what you make it.
Yes, it is. That is one thing we probably want to end with that.
It is a simple formula. Input equals output.
Yeah, and that goes to anything in life, really.
Sure.
Same thing with college. Whatever you put into college.
Your job, your career, input equals output. You want to be the same average worker, you're going to get that same average worker paid. You want to be above and beyond, you're going to get promoted and all that other stuff. It's life.
I went to a HBCU in my freshman year.
What school did you go to?
I went to Hampton University.
What's a Hampton?
Yeah. I went to Hampton, and the Greek life there, it was a lot different. Like, it was like everybody wanted to be whoever ran the yard. And at the time,
You mean King of the Hill type shit? Like they were
Yeah.
competing to
Yeah.
that makes it live.
Yeah.
When people look at healthy competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was healthy. Cause like I know, my freshman year I didn't see a lot of Greeks, but when I did see them, it was like, holy crap, there's Greeks, you know?
Right.
Cause I have family, I have Greeks in my family,
Oh.
and so I knew about Greek life. But like,
Which Greeks in your family?
I got Qs, I got Deltas, I got I got.
Shout out to the Iotans, man. One time for the Iotans, man. Don't say Jesus Christ.
I think I have everything but AKAs, and Zetas and Iotas. I'm the first Sigma in my family. Start that legacy.
That's it, yeah.
But when I was there, I seen pictures, like they were saying, of successful people, and also seen pictures of like the whole D9 Greeks. And it was funny because like they have a picture of, say, a Q, and it'll be this big dude, you know, throwing up the hooks, you know, stereotype. And they had all the D9 with their stereotypes. It was a picture. I always looked at it because I was just, you know, I was interested in Greek. So I always kept looking at it. And it was just weird, like.
And this is when you're a freshman. This is your first impression of Greeks,
This is
right?
my first impression of Greeks, besides my family.
Right.
And it was just weird, like at HBCU, they showing exactly what each stereotype is.
Right.
And it's a picture.
They're showing you literally the different roads.
Yeah.
All different roads.
Like, you can end up here.
You can walk this path, or make a left over here, or make a right back there, or turn around. Like,
But like, they had kind of like a market thing. But it wasn't every Friday. They had a Greek Friday. So like,
they had a Friday dedicated. They had a day dedicated to Greeks.
It was like
incredible.
like a Sparkin, that's Spelman.
Sparkman House, yeah.
Yeah.
Clarkman.
So like, you know, the Greeks would come out, stroll, music playing, and it would be, that's it.
I mean, granted, like you know, at the PWI they have like a Greek week, or you know, Southern Poly used to have like Goat Night, but it just wasn't. It's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same because you get that small little bit of black that does go to the school just to come out, and whereas you know the other Greeks we get like majority of the school to come out, and the school will build a staple around it. Yeah. So whereas us, it's like, you know, we don't have that staple.
I mean, to be real, like for HBCUs, I think it's safe to say that a majority, I'm not gonna say all of the money and income coming in from, because Greek life is a business as well.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say for HBCU that most of their income and revenue comes from Greek life, but I would say it's a good amount of it. So you're gonna put your money and budget towards whatever is making you hot, like whatever's making your school your school. Like Howard, they know that. Hey man, this has been here for 100 years, and look how much the homecoming. Howard's homecoming must be insane.
Yeah, they have like Diddy come perform.
Like they've had Diddy come, they've had Drake come. Like I mean, you know, so they have to put their money in just like any other school, any other major school that has a football team, a Division I football team. They need to make sure that football team is ready to go,
right, and
got the resources that they need. So the focus is a little different. Based on, you know, that the culture of that school. So
I guess one thing I would say though, to go back to what you were asking everybody to sum it up, what I want to sum up would be like, for the stereotypes, honestly, the only people that probably even know about the stereotypes are people that are interested in Greek, therefore,
or already Greek, one
Greek.
of the two,
right?
Yeah.
So as far as
everybody else don't know, don't give a shit.
Yeah, right. So like if you're interested in Greek, you're not yet Greek, and you are seeing these stereotypes like we promote, do your interest or do your research, and that's really the only one way you'll be able to, you know,
make a decision for yourself.
Yeah, right. Don't just go somewhere like, oh, they look nice.
Don't make the decision because of other people.
Yeah, like
my God,
it's for you, because honestly, in 20 years when you graduate, you working, like we all said, you're not even gonna see those same people that you was like making these decisions to be cool
Yeah.
for. And you know, so do it because you want to do it. Do it for the reasons that you have, not because you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to be swole. if you're not actively in, you know, pumping iron, you're not gonna get swole because you pledge omega. When you